hobbies.
Today is January 10th, 2020. My name is Joe Reingold, and I am interviewing Arnold Barron today, and good morning. So, Mr. Barron, tell us a little bit about what you know about your background, your parents, your grandparents, maybe where they lived, where they came from.
Well, my parents, my dad's parents were here. They came originally from St. Louis. Before I was born, of course. My dad was a little boy. And came to Dallas, moved to Forest Avenue, 1322 Forest Avenue, Dallas, Texas. And that was back in, oh gosh, before I was born. Dad was reared here. And my mom was born in Wharton. She was born in Houston, Texas. And my grandparents on her side came from, where, Tito? I can't read, so.
Lithuania, right? Okay.
They came from Vilnius.
Mm-hmm. That's the capital, yeah.
No, wait a minute. My grandfather on my mom's side came from, they didn't come from Vilnius, they came from Russia.
They came from Vilnius.
They did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The Abavitzes. And then the Barons actually came from the Ukraine.
And they came from the Ukraine, okay.
Yeah.
And my grandparents on my father's side came from, what city was that in the Ukraine? You remember?
Whatever you remember. We can't defer to Melissa, so.
Okay. She came from, they came from Russia. Came from Russia. And I'm too old to remember.
That's okay. When they came here to the States, where did they first settle?
My dad settled in St. Louis.
They came straight to St. Louis? I mean,
Yeah.
Okay, all right,
And then from St. Louis, they came to Dallas.
okay.
Yeah.
And the other side?
Mom's parents settled in Wharton, Texas, outside of Houston.
Mm-hmm.
And Mom was reared in Wharton.
Did they come up through Galveston originally, or did they come through New York, the harbor?
I think
Do you know?
they came through Galveston.
Did they? Yeah. It sounds like it, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they came through Galveston. And all of that side of the family came up that way and settled around Wharton, El Campo, and one of them settled in Hempstead.
What did they do when they got here? Did they have a trade or a profession yet?
No, they were pretty young then.
Oh, okay.
And then they were reared down there. And let's see, Dad was reared here in Dallas with my grandparents. Grandpa had a store, scrap iron.
Oh.
He bought scrap iron and sold it. And my mom's side, the Smiths, let's see, he opened a grocery store in Wharton, Texas, way back before I was born. That would be at least 10 years ago.
A little while ago.
Yeah, a little while ago, a bunch of years ago. And Mom was reared in Wharton, Texas.
How did your parents meet? Do you know?
I don't know how they met.
No. Or what city were they in when they met?
Probably in Dallas. Let's see, Mom went to a university in Sherman called Kit Key then. It was called Kit Key. And I guess they used to come to Dallas. And I guess that's where she met my dad. And I don't know where Dad went to university. I don't remember where he went to university. I can't remember.
That's okay. So when they met, or when a little bit later on, they decided to stay in Dallas, to settle here?
Yeah, they settled here. Well, they went to Wharton for a while and lived a few years in Wharton, which is where my mom's parents were in Martin, Texas. And then after a few years, they came to Dallas. Let's see, I think it was Dallas they moved to. Yeah.
Do you remember when that was? How long ago?
And where?
What year that was, or around when that was?
Let's see. That'd be before I was born.
Yeah.
So it'd have to be way back then. Because I'm 90, so that would have to be probably about 100 years ago.
Wow. Yeah. So what did your dad do for a living here?
Dad, let's see, when he was young, I don't know what he did. But I do remember, the first thing I remember, he was working for a chain store, a company called Reingold. It was women's clothing. He went to work for them. In Waco, I remember that. He went to work in Waco about the time I was born, so that would be in the 20s. And then they moved to Dallas. And I guess, I don't know where Dad and Mom met. It must have been in Dallas somewhere. And it said she was going to Kit Key in Sherman. And Dad went to school, I think, I'm not sure, but I think he started in SMU. But I don't remember because it was way before my time.
Before your time. So where were you born and raised?
I was born in Houston. I was reared in, actually Dallas, I guess, and Wharton, Texas, for a year or two. And then we moved, Dad, I should say, took the family and they hauled bottom to Dallas.
Did you have any siblings at that time?
Do I have any what?
Any brothers or sisters?
I had my older sister, Pat, who is now deceased, and she was born in Houston. I was born in Houston. I think Dad and Mom were living in Wharton, Texas at that time. And then from there they came to Dallas. That was about 1920. See, I was born in 29. Yeah, I guess 29. February 13th, 1929 when I was born. And then I was reared here in Dallas.
Okay.
I don't know where Pat was born, do you know?
Do you remember your old neighborhood at all here?
Well, when we first came to Dallas from Houston, we lived on Mercedes Street, which was in East Dallas. No, before that, we lived on Cordova. That was East Dallas, just off of what's the big old Greenville. East Grand.
Oh, okay.
East Grand, near White Rock. And that's the first I remember of Dallas was that house. And then we lived there a few years, and then we moved into Highland Park, I think. Yeah, to Highland Park, and we lived, we rented a house for a short time there, and then we bought a house on Belle Claire, in 4500 Belle Claire, I remember that, in Highland Park. And kids, and I went to school, it started in grade school, I remember when we were living over there, at Mount Auburn grade school, just off of East Grand. And then we moved from there. That house was on Cordova. I remember that. And then from there we moved to Stanford Avenue in University Park. Then from there we moved to Belle Claire in Highland Park. And that's more when I started remembering more. And then I went to grade school. I started in Mount Auburn, then we went to, God, it's so long ago.
That's okay.
Let's see.
Do you remember where you went to high school? Which high school?
Yeah, I went to Highland Park.
Highland Park High School.
Yeah.
Back then, I'm sure it was I imagine it was a very small Jewish population, right?
Well, it's
Or
pretty
was it?
good size.
Was it?
Yeah,
Oh.
probably several hundred.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jewish kids? Yeah?
Yeah, in Dallas.
No, at Highland Park High School.
Oh, Highland Park High
Yeah,
School. Oh, probably, I guess it must have been 50 kids,
Okay.
Jewish. And let's see.
Did you have any activities with them?
No, actually, all I did was play football
Well, that's good.
with everybody.
Yeah.
And we had one good football player. I remember his name was Doak Walker.
Oh,
He was on the team when I was there, and he was in the same class I was in. Do you remember him?
I do. I know the name. Mhm.
Yeah, because he went to SMU, was All-American at SMU.
Right.
And I don't remember how many. I remember I used to go to Temple Emmanuel.
That's what I was going to ask you, if your family affiliated with any of the synagogues. So you were at Temple Emmanuel?
I was Temple Emmanuel. My grandfather was, what was the one, do you remember the name of it?
Agudas.
Agudas Achim.
Oh, the Orthodox.
Orthodox.
He was Orthodox?
Yeah, he was.
when
My
he came?
grandfather was. Very Orthodox.
Well, South Dallas had the beginnings of all of those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we actually, Grandpa lived on Forest Avenue, 1322 Forest Avenue. I remember the address. And he was with the shul. What was the name of the shul, Melissa? Do you remember?
Agudas Achim?
The Agudas Achim.
Mm-hmm, right. Yeah. That was the first Orthodox synagogue here.
Yeah.
He was president. Right?
Huh?
He was president.
Yeah, he might have been. He was president.
What was your grandfather's name?
Abe, A-B-E, Abraham
And his last name? It
Barron.
was Barron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's see, what else? That's so long ago, I can't remember anything. But I do remember we moved, Grandpa was living in South Dallas on Forest Avenue. And before that, what was the other street you remembered? I can't remember.
That's okay.
And then from there, he stayed in South Dallas a long time. Then he moved on to McComas Avenue on McComas near SMU, the school there, the street there.
Where did your father go to school, to high school?
Dad went to Forest High School,
Forest Avenue.
graduated from Forest High School in way back. Back in early 1900s, probably around, I guess 15, something around here, 1915.
Back then, it was very predominantly Jewish,
Yeah.
that area.
Yeah, it was
Right.
mostly Jewish
Mhm.
area in South
Right,
Dallas.
Right.
And
So did you go to college after high school? What did you do after high school?
after high school, I went to A&M.
Oh, okay.
Didn't I go straight to A&M, Tito? Yeah, she knows more than I, she remembers better. I went to A&M. I started as a freshman in January of 1945.
Okay.
I remember the class, and I was the class of 49 at A&M.
What were you studying to be?
Engineer. I wanted to be an engineer, so I went to A&M, studied engineering, graduated with a double degree, and received a BS in mechanical engineering and a BS in petroleum engineering.
Oh. So did you come straight back to Dallas, or did you do something else?
Oh, after I graduated from school, I went to work for, I went in the Army, thank you. I went in the Army for 2 years, and then I came here and went to work for Esso. It was It's called Esso Petroleum then. Worked for them for quite a while. And who did I work for?
Did you meet your wife somewhere in there?
Somewhere in
Yeah,
there I met her.
yeah.
That was a really long time ago.
Do you remember anything about that?
Where did I meet Norma?
She said, in a store, Neiman's? Was she working?
She knows where.
Listen to, yeah.
Was she working somewhere?
Yeah. Norma was working for Neiman Marcus.
Oh, okay. Downtown?
downtown.
Right,
Uh-huh.
right.
And I met Norma, let's see. I don't know how I met Norma. Oh, yeah, because all of us used to run around Neiman Marcus and look at the girls, and that's where I met her.
That's a good place to meet women.
Yeah, it
Very good place.
was. Yeah, so that's where I met Norma.
Okay.
Her mother, Melissa's mother, and then we went together a while. They got married. And my son was born first, Fred, which is my father's name.
Oh, yeah.
Also, Fred was born first, and you were born second. Let's see, who was the third one? No third one.
No,
Okay.
third, just two.
Just two. Melissa, that's this one, and Fred.
Okay.
Where was Fred born?
Huh?
Where was Freddie born?
Where was Freddie born? Here. Oh, yeah, Fred was born when I was working in Turkey. Yeah, I was working in Turkey for Esso,
Oh.
and he was born in Turkey. He's my little Turk.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
So he was born at the American Military Hospital in Ankara.
Mhm.
And then this one was born, this one being Melissa, was born in Dallas. Weren't you born in Dallas? Yeah. And we came back here
How long were you stationed? Were you in Turkey?
about, what, 2 years. I was in Turkey working for Exxon. Then it was called Esso Petroleum.
Right.
And we were drilling some wells over in Turkey, southeast Turkey. And then we drilled a few wells there, and then we came to Greece. We drilled some wells in Greece. I was still with Exxon. And then, gosh, it's so long ago.
What did your wife think about this experience overseas?
Nothing, whatever I wanted to do, she
Whatever.
said, let's go.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, never,
Yeah?
then, let's see, Fred was born in Dallas, wasn't he? Oh, he was born in Turkey.
Right.
Yeah, he was born in the American Hospital, yeah. And then we came back to the States. No, we were still overseas then. And then Melissa, I wanted to have an anchor baby. So Melissa was born in Dallas. That's Melissa then. And then after that, we lived in Athens, Greece for a while. They went to high school in Athens for a while. And then from Athens, I was doing consulting, engineering consulting in the Middle East and all over the world. And then from there, we came after Melissa was born in the States, we had the anchor baby. So then we came back to Dallas. Didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
In the late 70s.
Late 70s, yeah.
And you continued to work in the same field?
Yeah, working as an engineer and consulting and drilling. And I did a lot of my work was in the Middle East. So when we lived in Athens, we moved to Athens, then I went to work in the Middle East. It was very convenient, working for different oil companies as a consultant.
During all that time, was your wife working at all? Did
She
it?
was working, I don't know where she worked. I think she worked for, she was working,
You could say.
Reingold. Oh, yeah, CIA.
The CIA?
Yeah,
For real?
for real.
Wow. What did she do with them?
I think she did office work,
Oh.
secretarial work, and
Okay.
taking care of the records. That was in Athens, Athens, Greece.
Mm-hmm. So when you came back here, back to Dallas, you were continuing to work in the petroleum engineering field?
I don't, heck, I had retired by then.
Did
hadn't I? Yeah, when I came back, I was retired. Did I do any work here?
Well, you stayed over there until about 2000. The year
Until about,
2000,
yeah, I
and
stayed
then
over
came-
there,
yeah.
and did consulting in the
Mhm.
Middle East and
Mm-hmm.
Far East and Europe and everywhere all over the world, for different oil companies. Then we decided to move back to Dallas, didn't we, Tito? That's my daughter's Tito, it's her nickname. Then we moved back to Dallas.
How had your family grown since then?
How were they what?
How had your family gotten bigger? Your immediate family?
How'd my family get bigger?
Uh-huh.
Well, let's see, I had Fred, my first one, and Melissa, the second one. I only
Right.
had two, didn't I, Tito?
Did they have families of their own? Or did you have any
Yeah,
grandchildren?
She did.
Okay.
Fred didn't get married.
No? Okay.
No, he was smart.
Okay. So where are your grandkids now? And your daughter?
Let's see, there's my daughter right there.
Yeah.
And the grandkids, they were reared here in Dallas. And let's see, they went to college. Was it SMU? Yeah. Did Fred go to SMU also? No, he went to A&M. Yeah, my oldest son,
Mm-hmm.
Grandson.
my grandson,
I'm Matt now. Yeah.
went to A&M. And
TCU.
Melissa went to, where'd you go, Tito?
North Texas.
North Texas, yes. That's a little school up north of
Yeah.
Dallas.
That's grown a lot.
It's
since
grown
then.
a bunch.
That's grown a lot, yeah.
She went there to school. What did you study?
Accounting.
Accounting. She studied accounting. Fred studied, I don't know, he just took,
Geology.
what?
Geology.
Geology, yeah. He studied geology. And I studied petroleum mechanical engineering at A&M.
What kind of things were you involved in anything else in the city here with your wife? Or just you? Anything that you were involved in? Any organizations or civic activities?
No, not much. But the only thing I was really involved in was playing tennis.
All
I
right.
used to play tennis all the time, enter all the tournaments, and had some good players then. Way back, Kenneth Crawford, I remember, Ken played for SMU. That was back in that was before you were even born. I was even married. Gosh, that's been 60 years, 65 years ago. Woo.
Do you keep up with anybody that was in your class?
Where?
Either high school or college?
Let's see, who did I keep up with? In college, well, at A&M, see, they were up from all over the country, so really never kept up with a lot of them. And high school, do I remember anybody in high school?
You were going to lunch bunch, but
Mm-hmm.
there's nobody left.
Who?
The lunch bunch. There's several groups that still meet. I know to this day.
The lunch
Yeah,
bunch,
yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
tell Joe about Nan's company downtown.
What?
Tell Joe about Nan's company.
Your downtown company?
Yeah, Nan's manufacturing.
Oh, when I was
plant.
working for Honolulu?
His mother,
Oh.
no, your mom.
Hmm?
Your mother, Nan.
Oh,
and her
mother worked for
manufacturing
Yeah.
company.
Mangold's chain out of, a dad, I should say, out of New York. And he worked for them most of his life. When he was, a long time he worked for them.
But then after Nan moved to Dallas, she started Gordon Barron.
Oh, yeah, my mother started a business
Uh-huh.
here in Dallas, manufacturing women's clothes. Gordon Barron Sportswear. Barron, garden part was my cousin Leo from Wharton. Came here and they set up a business and manufactured women's clothes and sold around in the United States.
Very important industry here.
Yeah,
Very important. Yeah,
yeah.
good. So what other hobbies or interests did you have? Especially after you retired? Anything?
Since I retired, what did I do?
Don't ask her, you tell me. You should know.
She has a better memory.
What did you like to get involved in? Anything special?
Tennis.
Just tennis? That's it?
Was that it?
Nothing
And
else?
jogging.
Okay,
I
good.
jogged all the time. I used to go 5 miles every other day. Sometimes every day, when I was younger, not now.
That's okay. I'm going to ask you a tough question.
Okay.
And the question is there anybody in your life that you can think of who was a role model for you?
A role model?
Mm-hmm. Either business or personally, anything that you can, anyone you can think of.
As a role model for me. Let's see. Can you think of anyone?
Not you, not
No.
Melissa.
She has a better memory. That's
No.
what I was asking.
It has to be from your head.
Oh. Let's see. A memory, a model for me.
Yeah? Maybe someone in the business world or that you looked up to or?
I can't remember anybody in the business world. I went to work. When I went to work for Exxon, Esso,
Yeah.
as an engineer, and worked for them a while. Then I went into consulting for different companies.
But nobody that particularly, like, you was a mentor to you?
Actually, no. I did all my mentoring in college. I did work for Hunt Oil Company here. And the man running it was Bunker. That was old man H.L.'s son. He and I were good friends. So I went to work for them a while. And then after Hunt, I went to work for Exxon, Esso, and went international then. And let's see, then we moved to, when I was working for them, we were living in Athens. And Melissa, let's see, one of the kids, that's so long ago, but Fred was born in Dallas, no. Oh, he was born in Turkey. Turkey, wasn't he? Or Ankara, yeah. Fred was born in Ankara when I was working there. And Melissa was born while we were living in Greece. I wanted to have an anchor baby, so Melissa came back, and my daughter Melissa was born here in Dallas.
Okay, here's another question. Think of something that you are very proud of.
My children.
Yeah? Why? Tell us why.
Melissa, which is the lady who takes care of me a lot. It's my daughter. And Fred, my son, I don't know, he kind of piddles around, does a little of everything. What's he doing now, Tito? He's retired. Yeah, he would be about, 60 now, huh? Yeah. And then Melissa, she worked for, let's see, who'd you work for? I'm trying to think.
Well, you have to tell me why you're so proud of them.
Well, because they're pretty good
Not
kids.
just because they were born, but why are you so proud of them? They're pretty good kids? Okay.
Pretty good kids, yeah.
Well, that's something special.
They were pretty good kids. I used to kind of pick on them a little bit, but they survived. And
Where do you live now? Where's
right
your
now I
place?
live in Richardson.
Uh-huh.
But I lived a long time in Highland Park. And then, let's see, Melissa was born in, where were you born? I can't remember.
That's
anything.
okay, you told us, that's all right. Okay, so the last thing I want to ask, one of the last things is, can you think of a project or something special that you worked on that you were really proud of? Either at work or at home or play or something personal or something professional that you were really proud of, some project or something that you did that you accomplished.
I guess the thing I got accomplished was living to be 90 or something like that.
That's a great accomplishment. Yes, it definitely is. Yeah.
And watching these two, my two children grow up, they were both reared in Dallas. Fred Melissa was reared in, where were you? Oklahoma.
Okay,
No.
we're drifting here.
No, that's okay. Is there anything else you would like to add before we end the interview?
No, I guess you might say that my father grew up in Dallas after he was born in St. Louis. They moved to Dallas when he was a kid. So that was way back in 1900, I guess, or something like that.
That just reminded me of one more thing. You've been here a long time. Can you think of some way that Dallas has changed? It's changed a lot. What can you tell us about from when you were younger till now? How has it changed?
Well, I do remember when I was younger, I used to ride streetcar
Yeah.
to downtown Dallas. That I remembered. Then they got a bus.
Yeah.
That I remembered that we rode the bus. That's about my biggest memory.
That's it, right in there. Yeah, okay.
When my grandmother and grandfather lived in South Dallas, and I used to go over to their house on Sunday, eat lunch with them on a streetcar. We'd go downtown to Dallas and then transfer to a streetcar, go at their house on Forest Avenue, and she always had a good Sunday dinner for us. And I went to Sunday school over there at the Sunday school in South Dallas. Don't remember the name of it.
Well, there were a few that were operating then.
This was the big one. It was it was the huge Sunday school.
At Temple Emmanuel?
Temple Emmanuel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Yeah.
Well, a lot has changed in Dallas since then, right?
Yeah, a lot.
Especially the population.
Yeah. There were quite a few Jewish people here then, but not like now, I guess.
Right.
But and then we went to Sunday school at Temple Emmanuel, which I guess is still in existence. Temple Emmanuel still is in existence.
Yeah.
I guess they still have Sunday school classes there. I don't know.
Oh, they do.
They still have them.
They
Okay.
do. It's the largest synagogue, one of the largest in the country.
Really?
Yeah.
At Temple Emmanuel?
Yes, sir. It's grown a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
So anything else you want to add before we end our interview?
I can't think of.
No.
I don't have any memory. 90, I have nothing as memory.
Ah,
I have to have prompting by my daughter.
that's all right. It's okay. Well, thank you so much for agreeing to do this with us.
Oh, you're quite
And
welcome.
have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.